The diplomatic vessel of the Krell Confederacy glided through the void with practiced grace, its sleek hull reflecting the distant stars like polished obsidian. Ambassador Thresk stood in the observation deck, his three eyes fixed on the blue-green jewel that hung in the darkness ahead. Earth, the homeworld of the species that had sent those curious, almost primitive messages into the cosmos decades ago. Such a small planet, Thresk murmured to his aide, his mandibles clicking thoughtfully, and yet they claimed to speak for their entire species with one voice, curious. The Krell had been the undisputed masters of this sector for 3 centuries. Their technology was refined, their diplomacy sharp, and their military presence sufficient. When the human transmissions had first been detected, the Confederacy Council had debated whether to respond at all. These newcomers seemed barely capable of coherent faster-than-light travel, using crude jump drives that would have been museum pieces in Krell space. But protocol was protocol. First contact required a diplomatic mission. Ambassador, the ship's captain announced through the intercom. We're receiving a transmission from Earth. They're welcoming us. They've provided coordinates for a meeting point near their moon. Thresk's translator implant rendered the human language into something comprehensible, though the enthusiasm in the voice seemed almost childlike. Acknowledge their transmission. Tell them we look forward to peaceful discourse. As the diplomatic vessel adjusted its course, Thresk couldn't help but feel a twinge of superiority. The Krell would offer these humans a place in the Confederacy, of course, as a junior member species. They would learn their place in the galactic order, provide whatever resources their little world possessed, and in return receive protection and guidance. It was the way things had always been. The meeting point was a diplomatic station the humans had hastily constructed in lunar orbit. Thresk had to admit, for a species so new to space, it was impressive in its functionality, if not its elegance. The station's docking bay was clean, well lit, and, he noted with approval, properly pressurized for Krell physiology. 2 humans waited in the reception area. The female introduced herself as Anna Chen, Earth Secretary of Interstellar Affairs. She was small, perhaps reaching Thresk's thorax, with dark hair pulled back severely and eyes that held unexpected sharpness. The male, Leo Reeves, was introduced as Admiral of Earth's Defense Fleet. He was taller, broader, with gray at his temples and a bearing that Thresk recognized across species. This was a warrior. Welcome to the Sol system, Ambassador Thresk, Anna said, her smile polite but measured. We've waited a long time for this moment. The preliminary discussions went as expected. Thresk outlined the benefits of Confederacy membership, carefully avoiding mentioning the tribute requirements and territorial concessions that would come later. Anna listened attentively, asking pointed questions that suggested these humans had done their homework. Leo remained mostly silent, his eyes watchful. We appreciate the Confederacy's generous offer, Anna said after Thresk had finished his rehearsed speech. However, Earth tends to move cautiously in matters of sovereignty. We'd like to propose a mutual defense and trade agreement first, something more equal in nature. Thresk's mandibles twitched in what might have been amusement. Ms. Chen, I don't think you understand the realities of galactic politics. The Confederacy has maintained peace in this sector for 300 years. Newer species require guidance, protection from threats they cannot yet comprehend. Threats? Leo spoke for the first time, his voice carrying an edge. What kind of threats? The Zath Horde, for one, Thresk replied, noting how both humans' expressions shifted. Good, they'd heard of them. Raiders, pirates, rogue factions? The galaxy is not as peaceful as your local space, Admiral. Earth would be vulnerable without Confederacy protection. Anna exchanged a glance with Leo before responding. Perhaps you're right, Ambassador. Perhaps we don't fully understand what's out there. She paused. Would you like to see what we've prepared for those threats? Something in her tone made Thresk's sensory tendrils quiver with unease. I suppose that would be informative. Anna tapped her wrist display and the station's external view screens activated. At first, Thresk saw only empty space, the curve of Earth's moon, the distant sun. Then his translator implant registered Leo's quiet words. Titan 1, you are cleared for approach. The space folded. That was the only way Thresk's mind could process what he witnessed. Reality seemed to tear apart and reconstitute itself as something emerged from a jump point that shouldn't have been possible. Jump drives didn't work that precisely. couldn't be that controlled, that close to a planetary body. But this did. The vessel that materialized before them defied every assumption Thresk had made about human capabilities. It was enormous, easily 5 kilometers from bow to stern, perhaps more. Its hull was dark, angular, covered in what looked like overlapping plates of armor that seemed to shift and adjust as he watched. Weapon ports studded its surface like the scales of some vast predator, and the energy readings that the Krell diplomatic vessel was frantically transmitting made Thresk's blood run cold. "That's TDCS Titan 1, Leo said conversationally, as if he were discussing the weather. "Titan-class warship. We have 12 of them currently operational, with another 23 under construction. Each one is designed for deep space combat, planetary assault, or fleet command depending on the situation." Thresk's 3 eyes remained fixed on the monstrosity hanging in space. His ship, his proud diplomatic vessel with its ceremonial weapons and modest shields, would last perhaps 15 seconds against that thing. And they had 12? Building 23 more. The Titan-class vessels use quantum tunneling drives, Anna added, her voice still pleasant, still professional. "We can deploy them anywhere in the system within minutes. Their main batteries can crack a small moon, and their point defense systems could handle, well, let's just say they're very comprehensive." "Your jump drives," Thresk managed to say, his voice hoarse. "They were so primitive." "Yes," Anna agreed. "They were, publicly. We've found that in galactic politics it's sometimes useful to be underestimated, Ambassador. Humanity learned long ago that predators ignore prey that seems too small to bother with, until that prey shows its teeth." Leo stepped forward, and for the first time Thresk saw the smile on his face. Not friendly, not threatening, but absolutely certain. "We've been listening to your subspace communications for years, Ambassador. We know about the Zath Horde. We know about the Confederacy's protection rackets, your junior member species who are little more than tributaries. We know about the 17 wars you've fought to maintain your hegemony. And we know," Anna continued, "that Earth doesn't need guidance. What we'd like, Ambassador Thresk, is an alliance, a genuine one between equals. We offer protection to Confederacy members against external threats. In return, we establish fair trade, open borders, and mutual respect." Thresk looked at the 2 humans, then back at the Titan-class warship hanging in space like a sleeping giant. His mind raced through calculations, political realities, military assessments. The Confederacy had 12 core worlds, dozens of member species, hundreds of ships of the line, but none of them were like that. "I believe," Thresk said slowly, his earlier superiority evaporating like morning mist, "that I need to transmit a new report to the Confederacy Council. The situation here is not what we anticipated." Anna's smile widened slightly. "Take your time, Ambassador. We're patient. We've been preparing for this conversation for 50 years." As Thresk returned to his ship, his mind reeling, he understood with crystal clarity what had just occurred. Humanity hadn't stumbled onto the galactic stage as naive newcomers seeking guidance. They had announced their arrival as a new apex predator, and the galaxy would never be the same.